Coach, what do you take from this game? You wanted to maximize the points coming out of this homestand. Do you feel you've done that?
We're unbeaten at home, and I think that's a psychological advantage because people know how hard it is to come here. I thought we left it all out there, and given when you look in reality, we've got 10 players missing from that starting 11. It's phenomenal, the guts and the guile that these players have. And we're asking a lot of them on these tight turnarounds, and man, they delivered. We just missed that final punch because we had them on the ropes.
How's Jose feeling after this particular game? It's like he had the game on his foot a few times.
He did. And I think now he's starting to show supporters and teammates alike the type of player he is. We like him, he's exciting. He's just had niggles in the first year with injuries in a short season, and he had niggles in pre-season, but now you can see the boy's exciting. And he had 3 opportunities that he would want back, but that happens when you haven't had enough game time, but he'll get there.
Tommy, Conrad Crosser, Sportsnet 960. We obviously saw the first minute for Max with the shortened bench today, and we saw an early sub for Sergio. Is that just managing minutes with how short the bench is?
Absolutely. Sergio Camargo, when you don't have Jose Escalante, Richard Luca, Oliver Minatel, the list goes on, right? We got to manage some of our attacking pieces because we need them for the running. And it was already designed before that having had such a tight turnaround that Sergio and Joe Mason would split at the half. Max would like to have got on sooner, but people are playing well. And when they're playing well, we're okay with it. He'd have got on if people were tiring or at an injury risk. And the guys seemed in tip-top shape. And I didn't want to bring out, Nick Ledgerwood or Simo, who were really good in the middle. I thought Victor Lattori was outstanding again today. And we certainly weren't going to put Max into the line, but we wanted to give him a little sample of what's to come.
For sure. How much have the fans helped in these first 3 games outside of the bubble to power the short roster through?
They've been terrific. I tell you, through the whole COVID challenges, everybody's been fatigued, haven't they? And there's something about this togetherness that brings us, better. And you can see the world healing just by the way you look on the stands, and people are singing, they're letting off flares, they're cheering us on, and right near the end, they're almost trying to suck the ball into the net. And that's what we needed because the boys were tired and the fans just cheered us on. And we're not going to see them for a little bit unless they're traveling up to Edmonton for Sunday's game. So we wanted to leave them with a team, like we said at the beginning, to be proud of and will cheer us on the road.
As you said, you head up to the Canada Cup in Edmonton. Could we see some names that we haven't seen in a while back in for the Cup game?
Potentially, yeah. We've got a session tomorrow. It'll be recovery for the guys that have played some big minutes and a top-up session for those that are nearing fitness. And I tell you, it'll be like having new signings, which is terrific. Thanks, Conrad.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to go to Zoom right now. Marty is standing by. Question number 1 for Coach.
Hey, Tommy, just back to on the field tonight. You described your team as a Swiss Army knife before the game. Question for you is, which tool did we see tonight?
The lock, I think, if there is such a tool. We've played a game against the team that's probably, or arguably, the best attacking team in the league so far, and they've not had a shot on target. We've done it without a left back. We've done it with young guys with what we deem without experience. We've done it with rotations. I mean, Krifa Yao played as an auxiliary left back. He's a centre back. He's a right footer. And I thought he kept Marco Bustos very, very quiet. And that's terrific because he did what the game needed to give us an opportunity to play forward. So yeah, whatever it is, the lock, the pick of the lock, that's what we were. I mean, it's just unfortunate we didn't unpick their lock.
Well said. And then a follow-up to that, you kind of touched on it there. If you had a full bench tonight, how would have that changed the game? Because just as the game plan went along, like you said, it seemed to go according to plan even with the short bench. So if you had a full complement of substitutes, how do you think this game would be different?
Well, it's fine. I was just laughing with par at the end. I said, I'm looking along, and he's bringing on, your Aparicio, Boskovic, Sean Young, who's had a solid season, Polisi. I'm looking along, and it's great. We've got 2 development players with us, and they're terrific. They've yet to have a friendly in this type of environment, but we're able to bring Joe Mason on, we're able to bring Ben Fisk on. If you imagine if we had Ali Musi, the Ali Musi we seen in the bubble, or Oliver Minitel that we remember from 2019, fully fit and dynamic, Richard Luca, that coming off the bench in a tight game like this changes things in our favour. So fair play to the lads that were out there, because José Hernández ran himself to the ground, so did Anthony Novak. We just didn't have that final solution to unpick them. And I said, we had them on the ropes, but once we get people back, that's impressive. 10 people missing.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Matthias, your questions for the coach.
Good evening, Coach. Well, I want to ask you a little bit about Hernandez match. He was in both sides of the attack, and he was great. I want to know if he was an important part of the game plan.
Sorry, which play was that, Matthias?
Hernandez.
Oh, José Hernández, absolutely. He's almost a bit of a throwback winger, where he's direct, he gets it, he turns, I remember him from being a kid. I remember seeing him as a 14, 15-year-old coming down with Edmonton Juventus, playing against our Calgary Foothills team. And he was just like a really good street kid that wanted to take you on, run all day. And he's almost playing with that again. So it's great to see that enthusiasm. And on another day, the header goes in, the shot he kind of snatched at. He just needs the game reps, because the guy has some terrific tools to work with.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Matthias.
And Brendan. All right, Brendan.
Thank you. Hopefully, Tommy, you can hear me okay. The last 3 interviews, apparently I've been real quiet, so I'll try and talk up here.
It's that accent of yours, Brandon. You're getting everybody with the Irish accent.
Is it? Because I'm not Irish. That's
It sounds Irish.
Not at all, but, sorry,
You've been drinking too much Guinness in the COVID period, mate.
I just wanted to ask, how good is it to get through a match tonight without, basically unscathed, without a yellow card accumulation, without an injury?
I tell you what, when we look back on the season, we'll look at some key performances that kind of defined our season, and I think this could be one of them, because it was what we call a stretch, where it was really putting us up against the wall in terms of what we needed to accomplish with limited resources, and we came out with it with a good result. It wasn't a great result, because a great result is getting the full 3 points, but it was a good performance, and one that just showed some incredible passing sequences, especially in the second half. Great defensive tasks, and like I said, just missing that final detail. But I'm okay when I look at the amount of players we've got on the sidelines that can add to that firepower. That's something good to have, because I think other than maybe Blasco for them, they're at their closest to being the strongest that they are right now.
And just leaning into that a little bit more, how much did the support tonight at Spruce Meadows help with negating the negatives of having the short bench and the short rest?
You know, the fans here are our 12th man, so whether you're looking straight across at the grandstand at the Foot Soldiers end, or the family section there, or even, you know, our owners where we are now, the corporate section, everybody is just supporting it, and you can feel that energy, and energy is infectious. And I tell you, you know, when our guys there are dying, they'll be sore tomorrow. It was that energy from within that really pushed them on. So we're appreciative of it. You know, we want to keep seeing this crowd grow. It's a phenomenal place to come watch a football match, and there's people here for their first time, and we'll keep bringing their friends, because it's growing.
Cheers, Tommy, and good luck on Sunday against Edmonton.
Thanks, Brandon.
Moses, we see you. So does the coach. Your hand's up. It's all yours.
Thanks, Beasley, for the great introduction. Happy birthday to Todd, because I know I have to give him a shout out as well. And for your club, not to mention Tommy. Fantastic. It seemed like, to me, it's like you're throwing the baby with the bathwater. Everything has to come your way. There's going to be problems that come to your club, but you seem to find ways to stay afloat. Just tell me, how proud are you of the club that you have, the players you're able to slot in, doesn't matter even if it's not necessarily their key position, but they're able to fulfill something, and you ended up getting a point tonight, 7 of 9 through this stretch of games at home. Just explain how incredible that is to have a club like that where you can literally plug and play, it seems, and have success.
Moses, you've been to a lot of games. You've seen us from our onset. You've been around Spruce Meadows. We're not an organisation that makes excuses. We've just got to get on with it. It's a short, compact season, whether it was the Island Games or the kickoff in Winnipeg, and we had to be away, and we just get on with it because the reality is we're doing something we love for a living. So my job's actually now quite easy because the players who are fit get to play. I'm not having to drop players and say, listen, you know what, tactically we've got to do this. You ready? Good. You're playing. Here's your job. You mark Bustos. Right here, you attack Haynes. You do this, you do that, and that's it. But on a serious note, I'm proud of them because, like I said, we've hit COVID. We haven't had fans in the building. Everybody's hurting from this. So we just wanted to be a team that our supporters, our ownership group, and the players could be proud to play for. And I think we've done that over a series of games. We'll always be there or thereabouts to compete, and that's our objective. Stay in the pack, stay in the peloton, and we'll be judged on the final games of the season.
Thanks, Tommy. Best of luck in your cup tie.
Thanks, Mo.
Thanks, Moses. We have one final question. Matthias, one more chance. The coach says one more question. That's all.
Thank you. Sorry, Coach, but I need a couple of words about David Norman. He fought against Diaz and Campbell, and in a position new for him.
What a player. He kind of defined some of our, the things we look for players with ability, that always catches the eyes, but player with character. The lad is, he stepped up for Canada in the Olympic qualifiers and played centre-back. We'd talked prior about we think that's his best position because he passes the ball so well. He passes like a midfielder, he defends like a defender, and he's only going to get better with reading of the game. That part of a defender comes in. He was terrific today. He was probably, it's hard to say which one would be in the man of the match. I'm not sure what the picks were, but he would be up there, Karifa, Mo, all the back line. But he's a terrific competitor, and he's always first on the training ground and last to leave because he does the details.